What's up, Airsofters? You know, if there's one constant in this universe, it's change. Fads come and go. What's in style now will eventually become cringe. Whether it's fashion, music, movies, games, this universal truth applies to all things, save a few timeless artifacts. Ray-Ban Wayfarers, Journey's Don't Stop Believin', Star Wars, Doom, all have stood the test of time. When it comes to SMGs, there's one that will always be a prime example of its kind, the not-so-humble MP5. This in front of me is an MP5SD. You can tell it's an SD because of the way it is. The MP5 is a design from the 1960s, and it's still in use today. There are many variations of the MP5. This one, the MP5SD, was designed in the 1970s and features an iconic integral suppressor. It was meant for covert operations in situations where the user would need to remain undetected. This new licensed HK MP5SD is the latest addition to Elite Force Umarex's Elite lineup. Previously, the only way to get an SD was to go with a Sport line, which is a plastic receivered version. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, it just didn't have a realistic weight, and the Elite version has a full metal receiver, which makes for a sturdy, realistic replica. Now, one thing I absolutely love about this latest package is that it includes both a full stock and a collapsible J-stock, allowing you to run this as you please. The J-stock has 3 different positions of adjustment: closed, halfway, and fully open. Now, personally, I'm a huge fan of the classic J-stock, and thanks to this puppy being front wired, changing stocks doesn't mean you have to sacrifice battery space. The battery is stored underneath this plastic handguard and is accessed by removing these 2 pins on either side, then sliding the handguard forward towards the integral suppressor. Now, you can see that this is wired to small type Tamiyas, so make sure that your battery choice corresponds with that connector. Despite being inside the handguard, there is quite a bit of battery space. Our favorite battery for this MP5SD is a Matrix 1000 mAh 11.1 volt LiPo, and a word to the wise: don't lose these pins. Now, we do sell replacements on the website, but your best bet is just to be careful and not lose them. Otherwise, on the day that you're playing, you're gonna have a loose handguard, and that sucks. Now, because of its more traditional design, the MP5 doesn't have a whole lot of attachment and accessory capabilities out of the box, especially when it comes to optics and things like flashlights and vertical grips. I love that the Elite Force MP5SD comes with an included Picatinny receiver clamp for optics. Unfortunately, the SD-specific handguard means you are still limited in terms of attachments, but who cares? Integrally suppressed for the win. And you still get to put an optic on. Another note about this MOX suppressor: you can remove it with a quarter turn, which does shorten up the whole package for easier storage and transportation. You'll notice that the inner barrel comes all the way to the end of that orange tip. Now, this does mean that you could run a longer inner barrel and it would proceed into the protected MOX suppressor, which is very convenient. However, it would eliminate your ability to run it without the MOX suppressor. But why would you do that? It's an SD. But all of that doesn't mean a single finger-licking thing compared to what we're gonna talk about next. This, right here. If this thing doesn't have the most eargasmic sound when I lock it back and slap it home, then we're just gonna end the video right now. You ready? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. This is worthy. Now, disclaimer, HK slapping your replica could damage it, so do so sparingly, but if you gotta HK slap it, do so with authority. Now, you will need to lock back the charging handle and dummy bolt to adjust your hop-up, which is a sliding affair. Adjusting it forward and backward adjusts your hop-up settings. It's easy to adjust, slides freely, but stays in place when firing, which is really all you want from a hop-up unit, that it doesn't change while firing. Now, out of the box, this worked great with .28s. In fact, we found the best performance to be with .28s. And while this can hop reliably up to .32s, I don't really recommend going anything above kind of 3.0s before you start to see diminishing returns in terms of hop-up adjustment. Now, one of the very few downsides to the MP5 is the magazine. Mid caps only hold about 100 rounds apiece, and the high caps, which this one comes included with, hold about 200 rounds. So that means you will need to carry more magazines and reload more often when compared to the player using an M4 with EPM1s. Although I feel like, the EPM1 has really kind of made every other platform short on ammo. Thankfully, MP5 magazines are slim, sexy, and easy to store in a wide variety of pouches available here at Evike.com, like so. Now, I run 4 in my micro, and Mason runs his tactical chest rig by Viper Tactical with a whopping 8 mags in a rather compact form factor, which honestly is pretty slick. Now, you can, of course, use one of the drum mags available if you're looking for maximum onboard firepower, like the 400-round drum by Tokyo Marui, seen here, or the 1,500-round Angel Custom Firestorm or Thunderstorm. All of those work like a charm, although they are difficult to carry more of on your person. Reloads with the MP5 in Airsoft are simple and easy, especially because you don't have to manipulate the bolt and charging handle in order to do the reload. Our favorite method is to simply grip and rip the magazine using the included ambidextrous paddle mag release. You can, alternatively, use the included magazine release button on the right-hand side if you prefer to or have abnormally long fingers. But stick to the paddle release, and reliable, easy mag changes are a breeze. If you're looking for even more capacity, these Angel Custom Thunderstorm and Firestorm drum mags are available with an MP5 adapter, or if you already have one, you can purchase the MP5 adapter separately, which really gives you a lot more capacity. MP5 LMG, anyone? Another ambidextrous feature is the fire selector, which is rather large and easy to manipulate with gloves. Your options on this model are safe, single fire, and full auto, depicted by these bullet pictograms. Again, a very HK thing. And then there's the sights, which are an absolute classic from HK. The front sight has a large ring-shaped hood and a stout, clear front post that is non-adjustable. All of the adjustment is done on the rear drum sight, which has 4 different different hole sizes and spins to adjust up and down, or slides left to right via the 2 screws located on either side. And that's just about all there is to the MP5. It's an example of elegance in simplicity. For instance, disassembling this thing only requires you to punch out these 2 pins. This MP5 has a feature many other MP5s are lacking: a quick change spring. Without having to remove the gearbox all the way, you can easily swap the spring to change FPS, which is very convenient if you play at different fields with different FPS regulations. A neodymium magnet motor drives a set of 18:1 gears inside this version 2 8mm gearbox. The piston is polymer with a single metal tooth and a ported polymer piston head. The cylinder is ported, the cylinder head is polymer, and the nozzle is plastic without an O-ring. The hop-up unit is a rather standard MP5 design, and the barrel and bucking are standard AEG spec, so upgrading these parts down the line is a simple affair. The gearbox shell does have some forward reinforcement, and with little to no modification, this gearbox shell will accept just about any aftermarket internal MOSFET, like a Gate Titan. Alright, now that you've seen what's on the inside, let's see how it performs in our testing. Our FPS test showed an average of just about 320 FPS and about 17 rounds per second on full auto, using 0.20 gram BBs and our Matrix 1000 mAh 11.1 volt LiPo, which fits beautifully in the handguard. In our distance and accuracy test, this HK licensed MP5SD was able to land all 10 shots on our 6-inch plate and placed a nice tight grouping on our Evike Professional silhouette target at 50 feet, all in the A zone. Out at the 100-foot mark, the grouping opened up, only able to hit about a few hits on the 6-inch plate, but it was still able to land 100% of the hits on the body-sized silhouette target. And despite being a platform primarily designed for close quarters engagements, you could of course achieve tighter groupings at longer distances by installing an upgraded inner barrel, hop-up bucking, and nub, all of which are available here at Evike.com. If you're anything like us, you've been waiting for Elite Force to release this metal-bodied SD for a long, long time, and it's great that it's finally here. A stout set of externals paired with a reliable, robust internals package and looks that will never go out of style. The fully licensed H&K MP5SD from Elite Force Umarex deserves a place in your arsenal. You can find it on our website, along with extra magazines, barrels, buckings, and a myriad of other accessories and kit to pair it with, right here at Evike.com. Thanks for watching.